WrestleMania 34 weekend has officially come to an end. Thank fucking Christ. Thank Christ, man. I can't take much more wrestling anymore. I am mentally tapped out after this week. Mentally tapped out. We got NXT tomorrow, which should be fun. I think the War Raiders are going to debut on NXT television, aka War Machine. WWE did indeed change their name, which is always going to be something that I'm excited for because NXT is the best television show that WWE puts on during the week. It's the one night of the week where I am overly positive for everybody that says that I am overly negative because there's so much great things going on with the main roster that I gotta sit here and fucking suck Vince McMahon's cock about how great WWE main roster television is. WrestleMania season is over. I am glad because I can finally sleep. And all the WWE casuals who come out of their fucking caves once a year thinking they know it all can finally retreat and go back into hibernation for the fucking year. Don't address me till next year, clowns. Monday Night Raw, disappointed with Raw after Mania. It didn't do anything for me as it did in previous years, man. It just felt flat. It felt flat. It felt rushed. You know, outside of Samoa Joe, Jeff Hardy, and Ember Moon, I didn't really give a shit. Authors of Pain, I like the Authors of Pain, but their debut was underwhelming. You know, everybody's jumping on the Bobby Lashley bandwagon already. Oh, why don't you give him a chance, JD? Why do you hate Bobby Lashley, man? I gotta see what he does in the WWE ring first. Remember, I don't watch TNA. I don't watch irrelevant wrestling. Sorry if I missed Bobby Lashley's career in TNA. I didn't enjoy him in WWE, so there's no reason for me to enjoy him now. He's still bland as vanilla ice cream, just by looking at him. I will say this, though. SmackDown Live definitely put on a better show than Monday Night Raw last night. It was a lot more substance, where Monday Night Raw felt rushed and felt flat and relied heavily on getting through a tag team eliminator tournament and relied heavily on call-ups and debuts and returns with no real storyline progression. SmackDown Live at least tried to accelerate storyline progression coming out of WrestleMania. Still, we don't know what's going on with the shakeup, but they relied less on call-ups and debuts, which, you know, I really didn't mind, but we anticipate something happening, and then when we don't get it, people want to bitch and complain, but I really didn't care. You know, we've seen Billie Kay and Peyton Royce debut tonight, and Peyton Royce, you know, has been one of my favorites down in the NXT women's division. We'll talk about that because she played an intricate part in the show tonight. Obviously, with the cash-in done in by Carmella, which was successful. Somewhere Baron Corbin is fucking crying himself to sleep tonight because he failed when he tried to cash in his briefcase last year. But they relied less on debuts and returns. I just hope that when WWE does the shakeup that we do see maybe an Andrade Cien Almas or a Drew McIntyre or a Sanity collectively as a four-piece. But I think I'm going to be in agreement with some of you who reached out to me on Twitter thinking that it might be McIntyre over Almas. That makes more sense on the main roster because, honestly, I'm going to agree with you guys that came out and mentioned it on Twitter to me. I think Almas being in NXT just a little bit longer is probably the right decision. I'd love to see another match with him and Aleister Black for the NXT Championship. Maybe we get that at NXT TakeOver Chicago. You know, so he doesn't need to be brought up immediately. But, you know, I love his work so much. I'd love to see an Almas versus Bryan now that Bryan's back full-time. Or an Almas versus an AJ Styles. You know, or an Almas versus a Randy Orton. You know, something different. So, I think I'm going to be in agreement with you guys and think that Almas stays for the time being just a little bit longer and they bring up Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has been ready ever since he came back, man. You look at Drew McIntyre and you can see an absolute fucking beast of a WWE superstar. I mean, the guy's got fucking money written all over him just by the way he looks. You know, he's got that look that he's like people say Randy Orton chiseled is the perfect model for a pro wrestler, man. You know, you look at Drew McIntyre, he's in that same category as Randy Orton. He's fucking built like a Greek fucking statue. So I'd love to see him back on SmackDown Live, and I think it's a long time coming, man. That would be the ultimate redemption for Drew McIntyre to be back on SmackDown Live. So I think you guys might be right on that. But I hope that they save the shakeup for a debut or a call-up or two from NXT, because Monday Night Raw kind of reaped the benefits with the call-ups last night for Raw after Mania. SmackDown Live only got Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, which is great because it adds just a little bit of depth to the women's division. But again, the question that I posed last night is, you know, we don't know where anybody's going to be. We don't know who's coming. We don't know who's going. We don't know if WWE has a solid plan for the shakeup. There's no reason for us to have faith in WWE for a solid plan because they fucked up the last shakeup. So hopefully they do it right this time, and, you know, hopefully that there are trades made, and we see Paige now, not Bryan anymore, Paige and Kurt Angle kind of making deals and trades and swaps, whatever. I don't want to see Monday Night Raw and have Randy Orton come out or AJ Styles come out and that's it. Oh, look at this. AJ Styles is on Monday Night Raw. Look at the shakeup. No, I want there legitimately to be fucking deals made. So I hope that they go about it in a more professional, sports-like way. But, you know, that's asking too much of WWE. I doubt that even happens, and we'll get what we got last shakeup. So I did enjoy SmackDown Live tonight. I might as well address the elephant in the room because I've been very vocal about this for a very long time, ever since she got called up to the main roster, man. And I really don't believe how people, you know, it bothers me and it doesn't bother me. You know, I fucking hate stupidity, and I hate when people don't think logically. You know, everybody... You know, and you know, I'm guilty of the same thing. Everybody always thinks that they are right and their opinions are the only way. You know, everybody has that quality to them. You know, especially when it comes to social media, because you're tweeting and you're typing behind a keyboard. Nobody can see you, and nobody can see your facial reactions. I come on here and do this for you guys, so you can see how frustrated I am about something. You can see when I like something. You can see when I'm telling you what I'm passionate about and why things should have been done differently. I did not agree with Charlotte beating Asuka at WrestleMania. You know, a lot of people are right now claiming that they had a fucking grand slam of a match. Listen. You know, it was not better than Asuka Ember Moon. It was not better than Charlotte versus Bayley. You know, it wasn't not even close to any of those matches. You know, it was a good match for what it was. It went 13 minutes. They should have been given another 10. They should have realistically been given another 10. They did what they did in the match. They impressed me for the 13 minutes that they were in there. But for the simple fact that it was built up as such a big match for WrestleMania and you only get 13 minutes to do what you need to do and 13 minutes to live up to the hype, I'm not going to sit here by any means and tell you that they tore the Superdome down, because they didn't. They didn't. It was a good match. It wasn't great by any stretch of the imagination. Now, I understand that your great might be different than my great. You see, my great is Asuka Ember Moon at TakeOver Brooklyn 3. That's great. My great is Sasha Bayley at TakeOver 1, Brooklyn. That's great. My great is Sasha Banks and Asuka on Monday Night Raw just from this year. That's great. Charlotte and Asuka was good. It was nowhere near great. And it falls into the category of, oh my God, it's WrestleMania. Oh my God, it's in front of 80,000 people. This is fantastic. This is great. No. I don't give a shit if there's 1 or 100,000 people in the crowd. I am rating what is in the ring. What I seen was good. It was definitely comparing it to anything else on WrestleMania, it's by far and away one of the best things of the night. Because that WrestleMania was fucking disappointing as all hell. People still to this day, to this hour, oh my God, it's one of the best WrestleManias of all time. Yeah, maybe if you're counting backwards from worst WrestleManias, certainly nowhere near the best. It's better than last year. It's better than 32, but I wouldn't rank it as the best. Or one of the best. Charlotte and Asuka, good for what it was, for 13 minutes. Asuka should have never lost her streak. Why? JD, why? The streak was getting boring. I didn't want the streak to be the only thing that defined Asuka. Why not? Why not? Why do you think Triple H begged Why do you think Triple H begged Vince McMahon to keep Asuka in NXT a little bit longer when WWE main roster was purging everything from NXT, about a year and a half ago? Triple H begged Vince McMahon to keep Asuka down there. Why? Because he wanted to build something that was special. It was made into a special deal. She passed Goldberg. Nobody could beat her. She showed signs of weakness. She was on the brink of defeat by Ember Moon, and she still pulled out a victory. And the only reason why she gave up the title was because they were calling her up to the main roster. There was nothing else and no one else for her to beat and do. So they called her up to the main roster, and they continued the streak on the main roster. Asuka only seen Monday Night Raw. Asuka had a whole slew of women to go through. Becky, Naomi, Natty, Carmella. You want to put Lana in there, whatever. Now you got Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. She had a whole slew of women that she could run through. A whole list of women to run through for the rest of the year. And WWE wants to bring her to the main roster and treat her like the empress that she is. Have her win the Royal Rumble. Have her go to WrestleMania. Have her remain undefeated. And then when she gets to WrestleMania, she taps out in mere seconds in one of the most anticlimactic endings to a women's match I've ever seen. There was no drama to the end of that match. There was nothing dramatic about that ending. Asuka tapped out instantly. Instantly. The only reason why Asuka lost the streak is because Charlotte is near and dear to Vince McMahon. Charlotte's middle name might as well be Roman. The only reason why Charlotte beat Asuka was because you all know that Charlotte is going to go on to be just as many times women's champion as her father. Charlotte is going to go on to be the greatest women's wrestler of all time, according to WWE standards. So they wanted that on her resume, on top of everything else that she's accomplished. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. WWE, the first sign of something important, and the first sign of someone doing something that has never been done before, their first instinct is to kill it. There was money in Asuka being undefeated. There was money in Asuka becoming champion and getting a WrestleMania moment and remaining undefeated all year. She is the one that should be going one-on-one with Ronda Rousey. But that won't be happening anymore because Asuka is not named Charlotte Flair. And this is merely a political move. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. And that is even more evident after tonight. WWE made one of the biggest fucking creative blunders of the year by having Asuka tap out. Come to Tuesday night, everything that I just said is 100% actual fucking fact. Clear as day. That it was nothing more than a political move to put another asterisk on Charlotte's resume. There is no reason for Charlotte to show up on SmackDown Live and drop the title to Carmella when everything you did tonight could have easily been done on Sunday. What did this accomplish? Was Asuka's streak that expendable? Was The Undertaker's streak that expendable at WrestleMania 30? Still to this day, the streak should have never been broken. Never been broken. And Asuka's streak should have not been broken yet. WWE fucked up big time tonight. Everything that they did could have easily happened at WrestleMania, and everyone would have benefited. Everyone. And the odd woman out is Asuka, because she has no more streak. She has no more record. She has nothing. I mentioned this on Sunday when I did my review. Asuka was Superman, and you took away his cape, her cape. Asuka was Batman, you took away his utility belt and his fucking Batmobile. Nothing. Asuka has nothing now. Do I have faith in WWE to rebuild Asuka in a chase for the title? No, I don't. I don't have faith in WWE to do anything right. Everything that happened tonight should have happened at WrestleMania. Carmella should have cashed in on Charlotte at WrestleMania in the match with Asuka. When? Perfect time would have been after the top rope Spanish Fly. You know? Why would Charlotte risk trying to beat both Charlotte and Asuka at WrestleMania when she could have easily done it tonight after that big beatdown? Why did Seth Rollins cash in on Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 31? Why would you want to cash in on Brock Lesnar in any shape or form with a Money in the Bank cash in? It's fucking Brock Lesnar. But Seth Rollins did it anyway. Charlotte, Asuka, Carmella could have been the same thing. Carmella could have did the same thing. After that top rope Spanish Fly, both women nearly killed themselves. Carmella could have easily cashed in, won the title on Sunday, had her WrestleMania moment instead of being eliminated in embarrassing fashion in the Battle Royal, never to be seen or heard from again. Could have had her WrestleMania moment, could have gave her the title. Because if your priority was to take the title of Charlotte because you wanted her to move to Monday Night Raw, you could have did it on Sunday. And Asuka could have remained unpinned and unbeaten. And I don't want to hear, oh, she would have lost anyway. She would have had a blemish on her record because she lost. She wasn't pinned. If you're not pinned, you're unbeaten. WWE, instead of giving Carmella the WrestleMania moment and taking the title off of Charlotte, which obviously they wanted to do anyway because they want to move Charlotte over to Monday Night Raw for Ronda Rousey, and Asuka could have remained undefeated, I don't see how this benefits anybody at all but Carmella. But you could have did Carmella a favor and give her a WrestleMania moment if you wanted her to be champion. Do you get where I'm coming from? That's why it pisses me off. There's no level of care for anything in WWE. This wasn't important. WWE seemingly just told you, we didn't give a fuck about Asuka's streak. Either that, or they're fucking creatively fucking stupid. Charlotte and Ronda is not a believable match. The only reason why that's happening is because her name is Charlotte Flair. Asuka and Ronda is the more legit match because they match up evenly. Unless Charlotte's going to practice MMA and get ready for Ronda Rousey next year. I don't see how that is going to be a believable match in any sense of the word. No, but Asuka's streak didn't mean anything. People were getting bored. People didn't have faith in WWE to continuously book Asuka for another year undefeated. The fuck do you have a job as the WWE creative writer then? It's your job to creatively write. I don't understand you. I really don't. So that's mistake number one tonight. Though, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay certainly made an interesting debut. One thing I will say about Peyton Royce, man, I wish he would go back, and this is a small nitpick on me. I wish Peyton Royce would go back to the Poison Ivy looking outfit that she used to wear. I don't like what she's wearing. I don't. I mean, some of you might like what she's wearing because she's revealing a lot more. But I just think, as wrestling attire, the Poison Ivy looking outfit that she used to wear in NXT looks a lot better than what she's wearing now. But they made an interesting debut. I think they handled themselves very well on the microphone. I was a little disappointed that they were the only call-ups on SmackDown Live tonight, but I'm holding out hope that we see maybe one or two for the shakeup next week on SmackDown Live. And maybe WWE, they want to have that level of surprise for the shakeup. So we'll see what happens with that. But they did make a very, very good debut tonight. They attacked Charlotte, and they did very good for themselves tonight. Very proud of both of them. It's nice to see them on SmackDown Live finally after months and months and months of rumors. Finally debuted after WrestleMania. I just don't agree with WWE's decision to end the streak, take the title off Charlotte, and give it to Carmella when everything could have been done and everything could have been preserved at WrestleMania while giving Carmella a WrestleMania moment. I don't see how anybody can not figure that out or not be in agreement with that. Why wouldn't you want Carmella winning the title at WrestleMania instead of SmackDown Live? Doesn't make any sense to me. There was several times in that match where Carmella could have cashed in and made an appearance, She could have did it after the Spanish Fly. She could have did it after the match. I don't get how people are that fucking blind and creatively stupid. I don't know, man. Let me know what you guys think about that. The other thing that I had a problem with tonight is Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, man. Listen, I don't want to sit here and complain for 20 minutes about why Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles should not be on live television. They should not be on live television. They should not be booked in an impromptu match. This match is, every sense of the fucking word, a 100,000 seat main event fucking fantasy match. I don't give a fuck who you are. This is a mistake to put this match on live television. And that was very evident by the time 9:50 came around, where they went to commercial for 3 fucking minutes, and by the time they got back from commercial, we only had 7 minutes of a TV match with Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. I don't see how anybody can sit there and be happy and be excited. Oh my God, we're getting AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan on SmackDown Live, littered with commercials. I don't see how that makes any sense whatsoever. Unless Daniel Bryan is moving to Monday Night Raw during the shakeup, which I hope not. I certainly hope not. That's the only thing that I could logically think of. People were saying, well, AJ Styles is moving to Monday Night Raw. Vince wants him on Raw. It's been rumored that AJ's moving to Raw. I want you people to think. It's not that difficult to use your brain. I don't expect everybody to use 70% of their brain like Woken Matt Hardy does. But AJ Styles is the WWE Champion. The shakeup is next week. Brock Lesnar's defending the Universal Championship the last Friday of the month of April against Roman Reigns at the Greatest Royal Rumble in a steel cage. Neither of them are going to be moved to SmackDown Live. So why would AJ Styles move over to Monday Night Raw as the WWE Champion? And why would Monday Night Raw have Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles, leaving SmackDown Live without a world champion? Unless, like I said, Daniel Bryan is being moved over to Monday Night Raw. Plus, AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura clearly are in the midst of a couple of matches to come. Program. Going to be several months of a program with AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura over the WWE Championship. Why would AJ Styles move over to Monday Night Raw? So, I wish people would think a little bit instead of trying to prove me wrong at every twist and turn on Twitter. Think. AJ's not moving to Monday Night Raw. If he does, I would be fucking shocked. Yes, I know what the rumors have stated, but the Universal Championship is not going to SmackDown, and you're not going to have both World Championships on Monday Night Raw. Though I will say this. I might be in the minority here. You might think I'm fucking crazy, but I think a lot of us can be in agreement that we were all underwhelmed. No matter how WWE wants to push their initiative on commentary. It wasn't, it might have been a fantasy match, but it did not live up to the hype, Mr. Tom Phillips. I think everybody watching can agree. What Daniel Bryan did with AJ Styles in the ring tonight was a lot more exciting than what we've seen AJ Styles do with Shinsuke Nakamura. In fact, the little bit that I seen with Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles was better than what we've seen at WrestleMania with Shinsuke Nakamura. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And I'm very excited to see them again in a more high-profile situation with a world championship on the line. I do not at all. I said this about Randy Orton and Nakamura. I said this about John Cena and Nakamura. You don't put these matches on live television with no build, no storyline, no meaning. You don't do it to simply pop a crowd. I understand it's the SmackDown after WrestleMania, but, I would have been thoroughly pleased with Daniel Bryan versus Rusev in the fucking main event, two of the most over guys in the company, instead of jobbing out Rusev again in a triple threat match for the United States Championship. There are ways to work around it. We didn't need to have that match happen tonight on SmackDown Live. Speaking of which, a lot of people say I complain. Oh, JD complains too much. The guy's pathetic. He takes wrestling too seriously. Blah, 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 blah. Same shit every fucking week. You damn right I complain, motherfucker. You're damn right I fucking complain. How can I not? If you are okay with Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal again on SmackDown Live at a pay-per-view, you clearly have no standards in life whatsoever. Your standards are incredibly low. Incredibly low. I do not want to see the lives you people lead. I don't. If you're happy with this, my God, quit watching the product. How anybody could be fucking entertained by Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal again on pay-per-view. The creative writers have to be passing around drugs that are absolutely unbelievable, out of this world, for them to fucking say, yeah, we're gonna do Jinder and Randy Orton again for Backlash United States Championship. There you go, Vince. Yes, because they burned down SmackDown Live with such great matches last year, right? Does anybody remember the Punjabi prison match? Yeah, what a fucking barn burner that was. God awful. I swear on my fucking grandfather's tomb, I am not reviewing that match when Backlash comes around. I'm not. I don't give a fuck what happens. I don't give a shit if Jesus Christ himself comes down and blesses us with his presence in the middle of that match, causing worldwide hysteria. I'm not. I'm not reviewing it. I'm not talking about it. I couldn't give a single fuck. I have zero fucks to give. You open my wallet, I have zero fucks to give about Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal. Garbage. I don't understand WWE creative in their logic. You got Rusev jobbing out on WrestleMania Sunday, and then you're going to have him turn around to Tuesday, and you're not going to give him the fucking match on Tuesday? You don't want to give us different on SmackDown Live. You want to go with the safe route and Randy Orton. Because Randy Orton's a company guy, right? Rusev's the most over guy in the company outside Daniel Bryan. Selling merchandise like fucking, it's going out of style. You don't want to give him a fucking match against Jinder Mahal of all fucking people. Why? Because it's going to be a detriment to Jinder, and nobody's going to want to see Jinder, right? Yeah, because those same people want to see fucking Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal again for the United States Championship. What don't you understand? That this feud for this title is 1 year too late. You did everything ass backwards. Mahal should have been the U.S. champion last year. No, instead you want to have him fucking kill SmackDown Live to the point where nobody wanted to watch it and bury the WWE title at the same fucking time. What a resounding success Jinder Mahal was for the WWE worldwide. Yeah, sure. Sure. Guy was a fucking disease to that entire company. Randy Orton and Jinder Mahal. I will not touch that match with a fucking 20-foot pole. Fuck out of here. Paige. I didn't talk about Paige's retirement last night. For those people wondering why, I just simply forgot. My brain is mush for WrestleMania week. Thank God it's over. Paige gave a retirement speech, and when I watched Paige's retirement speech last night, you know, we were pretty much expecting it. We knew it was coming. We didn't know when it was coming. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I'm always honest in everything that I do with you guys. When Paige started to get very emotional and the New Orleans crowd started to chant, "This is your house," you know, it was very tough to not kind of tear up, because you can see how passionate she is about being a professional wrestler. That was her life. And I never want to see anybody have something that they love so dearly taken away from them. You know, Paige has been reckless, which has been very well documented. She has not made the best career decisions at all. So she was headed down a path of destruction, which kind of had me sit here losing respect for her. But I never want to see anybody, you know, in that position having something that they hold so dear to their heart taken away from them. I did throw it out there. I know I wasn't the only one who thought of this idea. There were others who thought of it. You know, I don't take full responsibility for coming up with something creative here like this, but I did throw it out there when we were talking about the rumors of Hulk Hogan taking over for Daniel Bryan. I didn't expect WWE to announce a new general manager tonight. You know, I thought they would let it play out a little bit, and Shane McMahon would take over the roles for a little bit. But, you know, I'm glad it's not Hulk Hogan. You know, I don't want to see another aging, decrepit, old Hall of Famer come back and try and, you know, gain some spotlight again when his career is noticeably over. You know, same thing with Kurt Angle. He's getting a little boring as general manager. I expect Kurt Angle not to last too much longer as general manager. But, you know, I had thrown the idea of Adam Copeland, Edge. You know, a lot of you guys were thinking Jeff Jarrett, being that he looks great and he gave that great speech at the Hall of Fame. Jeff Jarrett could be a fill-in GM. You know, I mentioned Edge because obviously he's still in and around the product. His wife does commentary now, which I'm assuming she'll be doing commentary for the Mae Young Classic because she's been receiving high praise for her work on the Mixed Match Challenge. So his wife is there. I figured, you know, Edge could fill in once a week. I think that'd be great. Or Edge and Christian as a duo, you know. My perfect GM would be Eric Bischoff, but I don't think Eric Bischoff's going to come back and do WWE television after his cozy life, country life, in wherever he's living now, Wyoming or Montana, farm life. He's doing what he's doing. He'd be the perfect GM in my eyes. And then I threw Paige out there, man. You know, Paige being a GM is a great thing. It's one of WWE's, you know, best decisions this weekend, surprisingly. Paige being a GM not only keeps her on television, it keeps her in and around the WWE family. And the best thing about it all is that Absolution is no more. Absolution is no more. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are going to have to go on their own and find identities for one another, or for each other, or alone, whatever. Whether they remain as a team, whether they're, you know, going to have separate identities and theme musics, whatever. Whatever. Absolution is done. Good. Enough of these women factions. They added nothing to the women's division on Monday Night Raw. They're not even that good. I'm just glad that Paige is not associated with them anymore because it was three complete polar opposites. You got punk rock, you got fucking, Hollywood, and then you got MMA all mixed together. I don't know how anybody thought that these three personalities would mix together. I don't give a shit what's documented. That Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are living together and rooming together and travel together. I don't give a shit if they're best friends or not. They got two completely polar opposite characters that don't go together on television. So I'm glad that Paige is away from Absolution, and it's going to force WWE to give Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville their own identities. Good. The best thing about it all is, I think I read somewhere that Paige has the same injury as Edge and Stone Cold. I think it's like a spinal cervical issue. It's not concussion related. So I don't know if she's ever going to come back. She hopes to come back. She mentioned it on WrestleMania, right? She has always hoped to come back. Maybe. This is a fucking cunt's hair of a chance that, Paige gets to be on TV. She gets to be in and around the locker room. She gets to be with the WWE. She gets to be on television every week. That's all great. In the meantime, there could be studies and there could be possible solutions, being worked out to maybe get her back on television. More testing, this and that, while she's on television. So she's not going to be missing a beat. She's not going to be missing television. She's not going to lay dormant. She's not going to be reduced to a producer role or a trainer role. She gets to be on television, interacting with the women and being a part still of the women's evolution. This is a great thing. I just wish, I don't know what it is with Paige's appearance lately. I don't want to zing her on her appearance, but she doesn't look good. I think it's the lipstick. I think it's just the way, she comes off. I see a heel in Paige. I'd like to see her not smiley. I don't want to see her being an overwhelming fan favorite. Paige has an inner bitch in her that I want to see come out eventually. I want to see her get nasty. I want to see her, take the brand by the balls and you listen to me. I want her to be in charge. Take no bullshit. I want to see her get boisterous. I want to see her fucking, lay down the law. I don't want to see, pandering to the crowd. She has that in her. And I want to see some of that come out. But overall, I think this is a great move by WWE, and it's great for Paige. I'd rather this happen than an aging old-timer or Hall of Famer. So this is good. I'm going to give her a chance for sure. Hopefully she thrives in this role, and, we'll come back and assess this 2-3 months from now. And, hopefully my opinion is the same as it is tonight. It might be different. Who knows? We'll see what happens going into the summer months, man. But this is a good decision as of right now because of all the reasons that I just mentioned. Another thing, before we get into the results of the show, man. Another thing, and I know a lot of you people were mentioning this to me on Twitter. And believe me, I was thinking the same thing because I'm all over the Roman Reigns shit. Look at how inconsistent WWE is. I mentioned this on Monday Night Raw review in an epic 10-minute rant. And I'm going to mention this again for sure on Off the Script this weekend. Why is Roman Reigns getting a title shot at Brock Lesnar at the Greatest Royal Rumble for doing absolutely nothing? I don't have an answer for that. And I don't think the internet fucking idiots on Twitter have an answer for that too. They'll just laugh at you and say, ah ha ha ha, JD's crying, blah blah blah. I love JD's tears, blah ha ha ha. Whatever. But they don't have an answer for it either, and they know I'm right. They just want to troll. Nobody has a clear-cut answer. Apparently, Jonathan Coachman seems to have an answer. He says after the beating that Roman Reigns took at WrestleMania, he deserves a rematch. So now we're just handing out rematches for losing, pretty much. What Coachman, said, he went around the entire thing. The beating that he took and the beating that he withstood, he deserves a rematch. So Coach is saying Roman Reigns deserves a rematch for taking a big L at WrestleMania. Sorry, Coach. If you believe the fucking bullshit coming out of your mouth, you truly have the IQ of a fucking crayon box. Why is Roman Reigns getting a title shot for losing? Seems like he's the only one nowadays. You know, Finn Balor lost, or he relinquished the title without losing, rather. Never got a rematch. Never got a rematch. Kevin Owens lost the Universal Championship. Never got a rematch. Bill Goldberg, you know, whether he's retired or not, I don't know. Sure, WWE would throw a bunch of money at him to bring him back for another match. Goldberg never asked for a rematch. Never got a rematch after losing to Brock Lesnar. It was one and done. But Roman Reigns, he loses to Brock Lesnar and he gets a fucking rematch. Let's go back to Monday Night Raw. The Miz lost a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Confronts Seth Rollins on Monday Night Raw. Has a rematch clause. Seth Rollins says, you want to cash it in? Let's do it tonight. Miz says, no, I'm cashing in my rematch clause at Backlash. Everybody has rematch clauses. But the thing is, The Miz was champion. The Miz was champion. Roman Reigns wasn't a champion. Usos tonight. They lost the titles at WrestleMania. They lost to the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers. The Bludgeon Brothers are the new tag team champions. Aren't they owed a rematch because of their proverbial rematch clause? Why do they have to fight the New Day to become number one contenders for the tag team championship? They're automatically due a rematch because of the rematch clause. So they should have automatically been put in a match against the Bludgeon Brothers at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Do you see how inconsistent WWE is? But then people on Twitter will say, I complain. People on Twitter will say, I'm negative, and all I do is bitch and moan. Did you come up with that? Did you think about that? Or did you watch the show tonight and you were just sucking the WWE dick and drinking the Kool-Aid like you usually do? I'm sorry you can't have a fucking logical thought or you can't process a thought on your own. I'm sorry that you look at everybody else's Twitter and just agree with everything that everybody else says because everybody's a fucking sheep. Inconsistent and complaining. I don't like to be treated like a fucking idiot. You do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry JD doesn't like to be treated like a fucking idiot or have his intelligence insulted. If that's your deal, by all means. You're just as worse as everybody else. Doesn't make any sense, man. Doesn't make any sense. But who the fuck am I? I'm a basement-dwelling fucking loser who complains about WWE. Meanwhile, everything that I say, there's validity and truth to everything that I say, but nobody will admit it because they're all salty fucks. They're all salty fucks. SmackDown Live, in the end, gave you a better Monday, or a better show than Monday Night Raw, which was very good. Not the best SmackDown Live, but it did what I wanted it to for a Raw or SmackDown after Mania. Raw after Mania really didn't do anything for me, man. We are going to go over some of the promos tonight. There's two in particular I want to go over. I will replay Paige being named the new general manager, and I will give you my thoughts on Shinsuke Nakamura in his first night on SmackDown Live as a heel. The show opened up with Shane McMahon introducing Paige as the new general manager of SmackDown Live.
Because of Daniel's toughness, because of his passion, because of Daniel's resolve to never let anyone take away his dream, we not only competed, but we won.
No Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn,
and
by the way, at all. I think they'll show up on the shake-up. I'd love to see El Generico come out and try and get a job like this new guy.
To do this.
Kevin Owens show up in NXT.
He has truly crossed back over to become a full-time in-ring performer and WWE superstar. Because of that, I have graciously accepted Daniel's resignation as SmackDown's general manager. That's okay. This is all good. It's all good. And since this is the land of opportunity, when one door closes, another yet opens. So allow me to introduce all of you to the new SmackDown general manager. I give you Paige.
Got a decent reaction for it too, man. You know, she got a decent reaction for it.
first I want to say thank you, because it really does mean the world to me, so thank you so much.
It's amazing, man. She went from tears yesterday with that same chant to smiles. It's a good thing to say.
Special for every single one of you. So let's talk about Daniel Bryan. So who wants to see him in action tonight? Therefore, Daniel Bryan will face...
They do the New Day Who, and then they have a Rusev Day chant. AJ Styles chant.
Will face... AJ Styles!
Wow! Yes!
You guys know how I feel about that. I just talked about that before, but... anything to appease the crowd, man. So Paige, the new GM, man, like I said, I like it. I think it's going to be a good role for her. We'll assess this in a couple of months, but this was the best decision out of everybody that they had in mind, everybody that was rumored. You know, like I said, I threw Edge out there, I threw Eric Bischoff's name out there, but, you know, who was easily accessible here? This obviously is the right choice for SmackDown Live, with Daniel Bryan now returning to in-ring competition. The New Day versus the Usos. Winners get a tag team title opportunity at the Bludgeon Brothers at the Greatest Royal Rumble. The Usos win. Fun match. I mean, it was nowhere near what we are usually seeing with these two teams, but it was a fun match. Big E nearly killed himself running through the ropes, as always. It's nice to see, but one of these days he's going to fucking concuss himself and break his neck. Big E catches Jimmy with a backbreaker. New Day waits for Jimmy to get up. Jay runs in, breaks up the double team. He nails a big super kick on Woods for a 2 count. Back and forth, Woods gets dropped. Jay goes to the top. Woods gets dropped with a super kick. And then Jay goes to the top for a big superfly splash and the win, and they get the title shot. Again, I don't understand why they had to fight for one when they lost the titles, and, you know, with WWE, with their rematch clause stipulations every single time a champion loses their titles, I don't know why that wasn't in effect here. But, you know, what the fuck do I know? WWE inconsistent as always. The Usos go on to fight the Bludgeon Brothers at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Interested to see what those two teams can do, man. They've had some classics back in the day when Harper and Rowan were part of the Wyatt family and the Usos were not, you know, the Uso Penitentiary version, but it's going to be a good match, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what these two teams can do. And the New Day, like I said, they've seen their day. Enough of them being in the title hunt. I think they get moved to Monday Night Raw in the shakeup. We got Naomi versus Natalya. Natalya making fun of Naomi, saying that she should have never won the Battle Royal. She was a surprise win. Nobody expected her to win. Naomi is idolizing the vagina uterus trophy that WWE so graciously gave her at WrestleMania, which looks fucking awful, by the way. Naomi versus Natalya. Naomi with a win here. Decent match. Naomi hits a split-legged moonsault for the victory over Natalya. I don't know what they're doing with Naomi. I think Naomi gets moved to Monday Night Raw as well from SmackDown Live. I think she needs a change of scenery as well. I think a lot of the women on SmackDown Live are going to get moved to Monday Night Raw, to be perfectly honest with you. But we'll discuss that in a separate video for the Superstar Shakeup. Shinsuke Nakamura, low blow at AJ Styles at WrestleMania. Everybody wanted to know why. Renee Young did her very best to get an answer out of Shinsuke Nakamura, and Nakamura addresses his actions at WrestleMania.
Shinsuke, a lot of people are calling your attack on AJ Styles reprehensible, a heinous act, and at the very least, poor sportsmanship. After so many years of anticipation, why would you tarnish your dream match?
Renee, I don't know what came over me. Maybe I got too emotional. I'm very, very sorry for what I did to AJ Styles.
And he winks at Renee.
Shinsuke, look, clearly you're being very disingenuous. Please, can you give me an answer why you attacked AJ Styles?
Sorry, no speak English.
Oh my God, man, that was great. Man, if Nakamura is going to be like that, I think I'm going to enjoy this heel turn, man. I didn't agree with it at all. I mean, what the fuck are they doing? But if he's going to be like that, and he's going to be sarcastic and a dick, I think this is going to work out fucking great for him, man. I just don't know how the entrance is going to work. That's my only problem. You know, they got that big rock star entrance. People are going to be singing along. People love the fucking theme. So it's going to go against what Nakamura is doing as a heel. It might actually backfire, being that he does great work. You know, he might be a little bit more, you know, free to say what he wants, and they might express himself. They might have him express himself a little bit more freely on the microphone. But that was great, man. Simple, to the point. You understood him, and it was fucking hilarious. So this might actually work out, man. Again, I don't totally agree with it right now, but whatever they're doing right now for 1 week, I think that was great shit. So I'm very interested to see where they go with Nakamura. Obviously, we're getting into the Nakamura-AJ Styles match, which I don't think AJ Styles is moving to Monday Night Raw. I think Daniel Bryan might move, though I don't think that is the right choice either. But we'll see, man. Again, WWE's hooking you into next week, because obviously you're going to want to see where your favorites are going to land. But I don't think AJ Styles or Nakamura move over to Monday Night Raw, being that we are set for what looks to be a multi-match feud here on SmackDown Live. Charlotte Flair takes the microphone. She's in the ring. She is addressing the win over Asuka. She says she had the toughest challenge of her career on Sunday. Says Asuka made her dig deeper than ever before, and she thanks her for it. Flair says the Queen left WrestleMania still champion. She says that they left every ounce of energy in the ring, and she knows it was WrestleMania, but something about it was special and magical. Flair says the question now is who will make magic with her next? And out comes the iconic duo, Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, called up from NXT, and they got a very, very good reaction. Peyton speaks and says that she knows a few wizards if Flair is looking to make magic. I laughed at that line. I love Peyton Royce's accent. Billie introduces Peyton Royce, and Peyton introduces Billie Kay. Billie says Flair's match at WrestleMania was good, but it wasn't iconic. And Billie says no one wants to hear about Flair, you know, and what she did in the past. Nobody wants to hear Flair running her mouth. And Peyton says it's now out with the old and in with the iconics. Flair attacks Peyton first, but Billie comes from behind, and it's a 2-on-1 attack. They beat her up on the outside, kicks and punches. They throw her into the steel post. They do a double power bomb on the concrete. Charlotte Flair was destroyed by Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Throw her back in the ring, and Carmella comes out with the briefcase in hand. Referees are already out there trying to break this chaos up. She grabs one of the referees. Thank fucking Christ they didn't have her drag another referee from the back when there was already 4 or 5 out there trying to break up this chaos. Mike Chioda's in the ring, and I don't know what he was doing, man. I don't know if this was done on purpose, but it looked like he took forever to cash in the briefcase after Carmella gave him the briefcase. It's like he didn't know what to do. It's like he had a lapse in judgment. Kept asking her, do you really want to cash in? Do you really want to cash in? And at this point, I thought she was going to fail because Charlotte was getting back to her feet. So he finally gives the briefcase to Greg Hamilton. The announcement's made, and the bell finally rings. Delayed, but it finally rings. Carmella's screaming at the top of her lungs, let's do it, hurry up, hurry up. Super kick to Charlotte, 1, 2, 3. Carmella's the new women's champion. You guys know how I feel about it. We discussed it already in the beginning of the show before we got to the results. Not going to go over it again. I think this was a terrible decision. This should have been done at WrestleMania. Would have kept Asuka undefeated. Charlotte would have been, without the title. That was your main priority, to get the title off of her. You could have did it at WrestleMania on Sunday and given Carmella a WrestleMania moment instead of beating the streak and having this done on Tuesday night. So not only did you not give Carmella a WrestleMania moment, which could have been great for her, you also beat Asuka's undefeated streak. None of this was right, in my opinion, whatsoever. It could have easily been done at WrestleMania. Triple threat match, number one contenders, Bobby Roode, Randy Orton, and Rusev. I don't care. Randy Orton nails an RKO. Orton goes for it. Orton breaks the submission hold, sends Rusev to the steel ring post. Orton goes back for a 2 count. They get right back up, and Orton nails an RKO. So Rusev gets fucking fucked at WrestleMania, and he gets fucked here on SmackDown Live. Why should I care? I'm telling you, you'll be seeing Rusev Club t-shirts in Hot Topic. You'll be seeing Rusev Day, just being celebrated amongst the elite in New Japan Pro Wrestling, sooner rather than later. This sucks. This United States Championship feud is garbage. Absolutely garbage. I hope all of these guys get moved to Monday Night Raw. I'm tired of seeing them on SmackDown Live. I think one or two of these guys, Randy Orton and Mahal. Actually, you know what? I would have Randy Orton and Mahal off the same brand. Get them on separate brands. I'm tired of this shit. I really am, man. Put Mahal on Monday Night Raw and keep Randy Orton on SmackDown Live. Randy Orton's the number one contender for the United States Championship in a match that absolutely nobody on planet Earth wants to see at Backlash against Jinder Mahal. AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. Not much happened here, man. Whatever we seen was very good for what it was. They didn't put on a 5-star classic. This was, diseased by commercials, and we didn't really get anything live on television outside of 6 minutes, which is criminal in itself. That's why I don't want to see it on live television. There was no build. There was nothing important on the line. They did it for the sheer pop, and I don't know why. And the only thing I could think of, like I said, is Daniel Bryan might be moving over to Monday Night Raw in the shakeup. At the end of this thing, Bryan goes to the corner and starts doing his yes chant. He waits for AJ to get up. Bryan charges with the big knee. AJ blocks it, turns it into the Styles Clash like he did with the Kinshasa at WrestleMania on Nakamura. Bryan counters that and positions AJ into the yes lock. AJ makes it to the bottom rope and quickly breaks up the hold. Bryan takes AJ to the top, turns him upside down in the corner for a tree of woe. Bryan with his yes kicks to the gut. Bryan climbs up to the top with AJ for a back superplex, but AJ shifts his weight and lands on top of Bryan. Bryan was holding his head, and, I cringe every time Bryan starts holding his head, whether it's for theatrics or not. But Bryan doing what he usually does. But every time he's holding his head, man, I'm fucking cringing watching him do what he does. Shinsuke Nakamura comes out of nowhere, I guess from the crowd, and he looks at both men and nails Bryan with a Kinshasa to the back of the head. Bell rings, DQ, Daniel Bryan wins by disqualification. After the bell, Nakamura turns his attention to AJ. Fans start booing. Fans are booing Nakamura. Nakamura delivers another low blow to AJ Styles, and then he waits for a Kinshasa, right time, Kinshasa to the face, and AJ Styles is knocked out as Nakamura walks up the stage and smiles with SmackDown Live going off the air. Good show tonight. Better than Monday Night Raw. Wasn't great. WWE did a little bit more in-ring tonight for SmackDown Live than Monday Night Raw did last night. We only got Peyton Royce and Billie Kay, but I'm hoping that they save some surprises for call-ups during the Superstar Shakeup, and maybe Paige makes a deal with William Regal to bring some people up from NXT. Maybe Drew McIntyre, maybe a Sanity, maybe an Andrade Cien Almas. We'll see what's going on. We'll talk about all this later in the week as we get to Off the Script this weekend, man. Thank you guys so much for a great WrestleMania weekend. You guys absolutely fucking killed it. The preview and predictions video did almost 70,000 views. WrestleMania review did 120,000 views, over 3,200 likes. Easily my most fucking viewed video on the channel, man. Thank you guys so much. Monday Night Raw killed it last night as well with the review. Epic rant on Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar for the Greatest Royal Rumble. If you guys missed that, please go and check that out. Follow me all over social media, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe down to the channel below. Thank you guys for everything and all the support, man. WrestleMania season is over. We can finally relax and get back to normal day-to-day business. And I'll see you guys this weekend for Off the Script. Before that, though, we got NXT tomorrow. I am not sure if I'm doing a review because usually there's no storylines taking place with the Wednesday after a takeover. Usually there's just matches and there's not really much to talk about. But I might come on here for about 10-15 minutes and just talk about what happened on Wednesday. So we'll see what happens with that. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for everything. Enjoy your Tuesday nights, and I will see you all for NXT tomorrow night as we talk about debuts of War Machine and whatever else is going on for NXT, man. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow for NXT.